abundance, intention, health, manifestation, love, and transformation. It's all right here. Leading authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs with stories and messages to support your well-being, let alone your most evocative dreams.
Hey, it's another groovy day. That's because I think you all know why. Do you know why? Because when I got up this morning, I decided to make it that way. And I got up and it was a groovy day. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a groovy day all day, but when it becomes ungroovy, I just think about what I decided when I got up in the morning and I resort back to it and it all becomes groovy again. Da, 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 da. I always look for the gift. Before we start, I always like to open up the show with a little centering exercise, maybe get us in the groove a little bit more. And what I want you to do is just think about what it is that you connect to. What is it that gives you power? It could be God, it could be Allah, it could be the dude, it could be the tree outside your house, the lake, anything. So just think about that. What gives you power? What relaxes you? What do you connect to? And just focus on that for a second or two. And let's take in a deep breath. And let that breath out with just a big ah. And focus on that connection to the universe, to whatever it is that you get power from. Let's do that one more time. And this time, think about your dreams, visions, and goals. What is it that you want to call into your being? Or what is it that you want to help others to achieve? Think about that. Big, deep breath. And let that out with a big ah, and just let that flow, your essence flow up through your speaker box, out into the universe. And for sure, focus now on allowing the universe to make those come true for you. There we go. Look, Jackie's giggling just a little bit. She got a big smile, though. Hi, Jackie. My co-host is with me today. What's new in the zoo? No. What's new in the schoolhouse?
It seems like a zoo sometimes. When you're working with kids, it can be a zoo. Throw in food once in a while, keep them happy.
No. We don't want to give energy to that. They are little, but they are thirsty and hungry. And, the Speak, Feed, Lead project is all about giving them that nourishment for them to grow and to find themselves.
Yeah, we're having fun. We're doing these mini workshops this summer, 3 days in a row, once a week. And last week we had a really fun group, good vibes, good energy, and they learned a lot. And so we started two new ones today for 2 different age groups, and we'll continue that on through the rest of the summer. We're having fun.
I hope so, because before the show, you and I were having a discussion, and this fledgling thing that you created and brought into existence is just a little bit over a year old.
Not even. And I started this in December. It's not even a year old.
You physically hit the go button in December, but this has been gurgling and cooking, and so here we are coming up on summer, and I'm helping you out with the creating budgets, and I guess I'm the treasurer of this nonprofit.
Yes, you are.
I am. I'm not guessing. I am. Da, da, da. And so I've been working on spreadsheets. So I was asking Jackie some questions today about the programs, and oh my gosh, this thing has multiplied and grown. And I think she told me there's 18 different segments with different age groups and different programs that will be starting up the 1st of August.
Well, some of those are going on right now. Yeah, some of those are going on right now. And then in the fall, we'll have 36 different programs that we're working on. So lots of things. And I've hired my first teacher. Woo, woo.
I'm going to have to quit my day job. That's your intention, right? Is to get me out of that machine shop. No, I'm just
right.
Well, tell us a little bit. What would a parent expect their kid to come away with, their child to come away with?
Well, I believe that my students always feel a little more empowered to speak up. And it's simple with just conversation. A lot of children, because of the internet, they don't have that face-to-face time with people anymore. And especially because of COVID, that's made it even worse. But just face-to-face talking with people. If I ask my students to make a phone call, even they won't make a phone call to somebody. They'll text, but to actually have to talk with somebody even on the phone, way too difficult. So when they finish our workshops, they have a little more confidence in themselves. They feel that they have some more things that they could say to people, and they're not as shy when it comes to talking to others. And that's one of the bigger changes I see with just a few lessons. They begin to understand what it's like to just have a conversation with somebody and how fun it can be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool. Learning to speak their way and to get their point across, right? And to just tell people what they're thinking. I think it's so cool. And we're going to talk about that today too with our guest, because he has some thoughts and ideas about what the internet, that huge distraction, I call it the law of distraction, right? It's so easy to get lost in space, and oh my gosh, it's just crazy. I want to encourage our listeners, if you're curious about Jackie's programs or the Speak Feed Lead project, you can go to speakfeedlead.org or find Jackie. She's a great coach. If you got a speaking gig coming up, you definitely want to get a hold of Jackie. She'll help you get through it. And you can see the website right back there, JackieBaileySpeaks.com. I want to remind our listeners too that today's show page is at www.lifemasteryradio.net, and anything that we talk about today, links, I think we have some free stuff for you, or you have the ability to go get some free stuff, especially from our guest. That will all be posted there, or it probably already is there. While you're there, you can sign up for our newsletter. Jackie creates a newsletter every week, and it talks about who's been on the show, who's coming on the show, and she always creates a blog post highlighting the show that we did that week, what we talked about, and it's so interesting. So if you missed the show, you can certainly get caught up. And lastly, while you're there, check out my interesting little book. It's been out for a while, 6 Keys to Life Mastery. There's a link there to Amazon. You're going to love it. It's simple, it's quick read, and it will get you started on some great thoughts and ideas for you to unlock life skills for successful living. Did I forget?
Great book. It's a great book.
It's a great little book.
Yep.
It's a groovy little book.
It's a groovy book. It'll make you feel groovy. Make everything in life more groovier. If that's even a word.
Yeah, it's a cool little book. Okay. Did we forget anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Good.
Are you ready? Ready, Freddy?
Ready.
Here we go. Our guest today is Master Mingtong Gu, and he was named Qigong Master of the Year by the 13th World Congress on Qigong and Traditional Chinese Medicine. Mingtong Gu possesses a profound ability to harness energy in order to accelerate personal, and this is a biggie, and global healing, making him a sought-after healer, practitioner, and teacher. And if you do any research on the internet, you'll see that there are testimonials from some very prominent people in our world. So it's very cool. Just a little bit of background. As a child growing up in China during the Cultural Revolution, Master Gu endured hunger, poverty, and a long separation from his birth family. Despite these incredible hardships, he became the first from his village to attend college, and he earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics, followed by a 2 years master's degree, including an MFA from Ohio State University. In 1997, Master Gu went back to China for Qigong training under Dr. Pang Ming, very famous Qigong teacher, practitioner. He was so moved by some of the things that he witnessed that he came back to the United States and decided to teach it himself. Master Gu's dedication to the teaching and practice of Qigong healing, which he now teaches to thousands of people in the United States, China, and Europe through his workshops, books, and education programs. Mingtong, welcome to the show. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. Thank you, Ta. Hello, Jackie, again. Great to be with you. I enjoy the way you started. Appreciate Jackie's work. And
maybe we'll jump right into that because
Yeah.
I read your ebook and you made a statement in there, something to the effect that we are all just way too preoccupied with things that are outside of us. Can you highlight that a little bit? I thought that was so interesting and so true.
Yeah. So in general, our attention goes out, what's around us, the environment, the house, and the other people's, and our intention go to somewhere else, trying to finding, make us happy, believe something. And whether it's your job, whether it's, a relationship, whether it's whatever, own something, So it's really, we grown up this way. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But what we're missing is the deeper connection inside of us, especially in our body. So right now, we're experiencing so much stress in this pandemic, in all the challenge we're experiencing, all levels. But our attention still, engaged mentally in the news, in the stories. On one hand, we know we're stressed. But on the other hand, we don't know, or we're not connecting with the body enough to know the body is carry the stress. So one phenomena is, I think some of you have direct experience or indirect experience of your friends, your family members, at a time were diagnosed with whatever illness, especially incurable chronic condition. Often we're in shock, like, why me? Why possible I have this disease, heart attack, whatever, and cancer, or autoimmune condition, so on, so. Really, I would say nothing happens overnight. Nothing can happen overnight. Boom, just happened. It's the result of a cumulative, life, basically. Especially we know the stress is the main cause of illness, especially chronic or incurable illness. But stress is not just happening right now in pandemic. We're experiencing stress in pandemic. We're experiencing stress everyday life. We experience stress from childhood on continuously until now. But our mind is in the story of life, whatever, move on to the next day, whatever problem we can solve will be great. If not, you just kind of bury the problem, basically. So what happened is the body is carrying that stress. Then eventually, the body cannot handle anymore, exploded. Then health issue, even emotional, shutdown, anxiety, and so on, start to explode. So that is one of the severe consequences when we are only aware of external phenomena, not connected with our own body, not aware of what's happening inside of your body, including, your brain is stressed, your heart is stressed, your nerve system is stressed, your muscle tissue is stressed. I often say the issue is in your tissue, but you have to, willing to connect with your body, to go inwardly. So that's the main thing. I'm glad we opened up this conversation here. The main difference of Qigong practice from a lot of other practice, including exercises, is here, Qigong always connecting internally with your own body.
And it's not really that
you
we
walk
have
out of the body, your mind still focuses on something else.
Right.
In the environment, watching TV, even, on the iPhone, listen to a story, reading a book. So it's not internally connected. That's the piece we're missing.
Interesting.
And it's not really that we have to understand the systems and the subsystems, but this is, I'm trying to describe it. This is a connection with our body so that the energy flows through and doesn't get blocked.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, first is awareness. You're connecting with your body, noticing, where the body is stressed, contracted, tight. You may experience different sensations such as pain, tightness, discomfort, even certain symptoms. But you want to go beyond that, realizing there's energy in the body. When the energy is contracted, then you're experiencing this discomfort. When But the good news is the practice of Qigong is really focused on opening the energy. So that energy is the foundation of life, the physical function of your body, emotional experience of your heart, your emotional relationship, and so on. Also your mental creativity, mental, connection with life. That's all based on energy. So we know, the brain nowadays using so much energy, more than any part of the body, because we're thinking so much, too much. We know that. At the end of the day, even you're not doing any physical labor work, if you think a lot of stress mentally, at the end of the day, you're exhausted. You used up all the energy. So, but energy is there, but you learn to connect with the energy, regulate the energy, opening the energy, moving the energy. Then you can maintain, greater level, great degree of function in your health as well, emotional feeling of love and joy, confidence, and so on. So that is the main principle. It's more energy flowing, more health. More energy flowing, experiencing more joy. More energy flowing, experiencing more creativity and connection of life. So that is a very simple principle. But most of us do not go there. You're always analyzing just the problems, trying to mentally finding a solution, also based on external phenomena, trying to finding a solution, fixing circumstances. You're not aware your energy system inside of you that is the foundation of life. That's a big.
Well, Master Mingtong, you said that sometimes we're thinking too much. I got to tell you that no one's ever accused me of thinking too much. The opposite. But you make a really great point in your book that when we are feeling physically ill, we will go to a Western doctor who will focus on a symptom, a physical symptom, and try to treat our physical body. But you make the point that our mind, our body, and our heart is all connected to one, and that if we're not treating all of those together, the problem is not going to be solved, right?
Absolutely, no question about it. I think deeply we know that, but we're told differently. We are, treating each other, assuming like this body just a machine, biological machine, as if the mind, your heart doesn't play any role in your health. But experientially, we know, any stress affecting the physical condition, as well emotionally, whatever diagnosed disease might be. Yeah, such as depression right now. So much depression is happening around the world right now. Yeah.
And I think you state some really powerful statistics in your book from people who've had all kinds of different health issues, including cancer, where Qigong has actually healed or tremendously helped that condition, and you yourself had some health issues. And is that why you went back to China in 1997 to learn about Qigong? Is because of your own health issues? Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, when people reading these stories, often kind of surprising how possible, people tried all different kind of treatment, including mainstream, complementary medicines, including even other kind of therapeutic traditions. And but one piece people are missing is this self-healing, self-engagement is the power of the mind, the power of your own heart, the power of your own energy body. And that's the piece often people missing. Think it's not important. We never really look at it, the true power of that. And so when I point out, it's a no-brainer. So, but even for me in the beginning, I thought it was impossible to heal these conditions because these conditions I had, such as asthma, sclerosis, classified as chronic. That means incurable according to conventional medicine. So you take the words for it, then you just live with it, thinking, okay, that's going to be this way for the rest of my life. So I just learn to adapt to it. So when I started Qigong, discovered this form of Qigong was mainly for my connection spiritually, also intellectual, feels like this is really profound, really important, really meaningful, and really something I want to, discover more, but more importantly, to experience the mystery of life. So, but when I went to China, and in the medicine and Qigong hospital, at the time was 5,000 people practicing together, not just occasionally, 1 month at a time. And our teacher, Grandmaster Ming, is a doctor. He actually professionally, he's a physician in the Western medicine, allopathic medicine. And he's also trained in the traditional Chinese medicine. So that's his main profession. But over the time, he discovered, the limitation of these familiar medicines. So he just started exploring Qigong method, then getting better result. And so people, actually the government, start to be suspicious of what he's doing, put him in jail twice. They couldn't find him, anything wrong, what he's trying to helping people, getting better result. So then he realized, the public, or including the government, is not ready for that yet. So he started to open a Qigong center himself. And then more and more people showing up, then more incredible results start to happen. So as a doctor, he wants to really take a more scientific approach, not only measuring the result, eventually accomplishing 95% of success rate, but also he wants to know how to make this better, more effective, more accessible. So when I went there in the beginning, I was skeptical. I was like, what? How could you Qigong heal this condition? It's called incurable chronic condition, right? And then the people tell me all the stories, show me all the test results before and after. So in the beginning, I was skeptical, then realizing, wow, it's real. Then afterwards, I feel inspired. Then everybody trying to tell me this, I feel like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. But in any case, I'm going to do it myself, find out. So I start practice very diligently without knowing what the result could be. And after 2 to 3 years, my own personal practice also spent a few months in the Qigong Center, was able to totally recover from these 2 conditions of asthma as well as sclerosis.
That's really fascinating, because your doctorate, or not your doctorate, but your degrees were in mathematics, and mathematics is very cut and dry, right? I mean, there's different formulas, but it's logical, and so that must have fed your curiosity to find the reason or the answers.
Good question, Todd. I spent 10 years studying mathematics. It was so intellectual. I think it's the most left brain activity. And then I discovered my passion in fine arts. And that is pretty much pure right brain function. Then I discovered Qigong, falling in love with Qigong. Then realizing Qigong is more like central brain function. Another way to put it is more like whole brain function. So it's not about left brain, right brain, which one is better. It's about how to use the whole brain to function much more effectively in life. So that's including healing result. So if you're taking only just a mental approach, left brain approach, then you're realizing certain, result. If you're taking only right brain approach, the feeling approach, and that's also generating certain result. But if you're taking a whole brain approach, what happens? You're activating more power of yourself. So the healing can happen much more effectively, more powerfully, beyond mental thinking can understand, beyond even we are feeling what can happen. So it's this energetic approach of wholeness, activating all aspects of who you are, whether you're using sync of left brain, right brain, whole brain, or physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And that is the power of Qigong, is you accessing the energy. The energy is linking all these dimensions, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Yeah. So, so when you connect in the wholeness of yourself, then your feeling about yourself is very different. Your feeling about health is very different. Your feeling about life in general is very different. So in the simplicity, the paradigm is so simple. The methodology is when the energy is contracted, for example, from stress or from trauma, from injury, from the wrong thing you ate, from the environmental conditioning, your energy contract, then the function as human being is compromised. So you cannot change what happened. And you cannot really have a, total control of what's happening right now around you. The external phenomena we're talking about, we focus on, even relationship. You don't have a lot of control of your relationship neither.
Right.
It sounds so good to be true. The thing is, though, that the Qigong has gained some popularity over the last 5 or 10 years, right? But it's been around practically forever.
Yeah.
And it was sort of being hidden because it was so powerful that perhaps even only the greatest masters in the world could have access to it. Am I right?
Right. On one hand, yeah, that is true. But on the other hand, it's so simple. So I was trying to communicate with you is that you cannot change the past. You cannot have total control of what's happening right now around you, but you can change the energy inside of you. Often I say, you have access to your own body more than anyone else in the world, more than any doctor, any therapist, more than your parents, more than your spouse. But we're not trained to access your own body. You're thinking you should give this body to someone else to get a treatment. That is the problem. That's the real problems. So the mastery is accessing the power inside of you. So this practice is so simple, and yet, as you said, it remains secretive until about even 40, 50 years ago, even in China. You can trace back to 5,000 years of history. And the principle is very much similar to TCM, to these very, martial art, and to acupuncture. But more importantly, is the deep energetic is the practice itself. So the mastery of your own energy is original idea is basically searching for immortality. So, and then they discover the secret to longevity, and then realizing that's the same secret for health. And that's the same secret for life mastery. And that's what I like this program called Life Mastery Program. So you have to master yourself, but in Qigong particularly, you master your energy. The energy of your body, the energy of your heart, the energy of your mind, energy of your whole existence. And that's where you have access to. If you don't have access to, you cannot really master anything.
Right.
So that's your own energy. If you cannot access your own energy, who else can access?
Yeah.
If you cannot master your own energy, who else can master? So it's really simple, yeah.
And is it true that I often have said, gosh, I just have no more energy.
Right.
But in reality, we always have energy, right? We just have to know how to access it in our own bodies.
Exactly. So
or we've expended it in the wrong way.
Exactly. Or looking at the wrong place, And the energy is always present. There's two kinds of energy. One is the physical energy we're familiar with, including the food, including whatever you own, resources you have, even the environment of the nature, the physical aspect of that. And often we perceive as, limited. And we have limited access, limited ownership, limited experience of that. Then another existence of energy is invisible, is beyond physical. And so according to the quantum physics, we know now the whole universe is only 4% is physical, measurable, particle-like existence. Another 96% is literally is invisible, literally is beyond any scientific measurement, but it's the power. So the ancient time, the people know that from different tradition, call a different name. So in Qigong, we call Qi, basically the spiritual energy. this power, this creative energy, the source energy of all existence. So the physical, the visible, is come from this invisible, from this intangible existence. So not only you recognize this, but you have a power to access that energy. So in life right now, of course, food is important. It's survival need, But beyond that, you depend on a lot of energy to live, basically. For example, breathing. The moment you stop breathing, your life is ended. You breathe in the energy, basically, right? And the sun, for example, now this week is the solstice week, has such strong energy. Without the sun, the life on the planet Earth cannot live. But we're not aware of that. Yeah, so then you go further, the invisible energy. Without the invisible energy of the universe, there's no existence to start with. So that is the ancient wisdom. But the practice itself, it's so simple, recognizing that the energy not only inside of you, you're born with, is still there with you. As a baby, we're healthy, we're active as a child, right? If, especially Jack, you have so much experience work with children, it feels like they have so much energy, it's hard to keep up with them. But truth is, all that energy is still with you, no matter what age you are. We call this prenatal energy, the energy you're born with. And continues to express itself in different ways, including the physical body growing bigger and bigger. But then another kind of energy is that we call the postnatal energy. That means the energy you tap into, for example, the energy of the environment, the energy of the food, the energy of the sun, but also the invisible energy in the universe we learn to tap into. So you're expanding your resources. That is one benefit of Qigong. Another is recognizing even if you have all the energy, if the energy is not moving, contracted, then you still don't feel good. You still feel lack of energy, feel depleted, feel stuck, feel contracted, feel health issues. All the health issues is coming from contracted energy. So the main key is how to shift in that pattern of contraction to openness again, to flow again. So that's why these simple practices, such as movement, such as vibrational sound, such as visualization, use your imagination to connect with the invisible energy of the universe, because you cannot touch it. You cannot grab it. No one can prove it to you neither. So your mind, your spirit have direct access to the energy. So when you open yourself up, suddenly, I can feel it with this body. The body starts to opening, activate it. I call it awakening process. This awakening process.
I do want to take just a minute and remind our listeners that you're listening to Life Master Radio with Todd and Jackie. And our guest today is Master Mingtong Gu. And he is a grand master teacher of Qigong.
I'm not a grandmaster.
Oh, not a grandmaster.
My teacher is grandmaster.
Okay.
Traditionally qualified as a grandmaster, not only you realize certain degree of power, wisdom, but more importantly, you're able to creating a new system. So in this case, my teacher... I didn't
realize there was such a thing. I was just...
created this new system based on his 30 years of learning, practicing, but also tracing back to these ancient school and lineages from different traditions.
Nice.
Wow.
The website, you can go to the website, and the website is listed on Life Master Radio. It's qicenter.com. And let's see if I can pull this off. There is an ebook. There it is. Can you see it, Jackie?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, you can get this free ebook from Master Mingtong Gu at that website, qicenter.com. And you can also sign up and get some emails in your email I think you said it was 3 times a week. Is that right?
Depends, usually 2 or 3 times a week, But this ebook contains not only a lot of information, the principle of Qigong, but also including guided practice to help you strengthen your immune system, releasing the stress, as well cultivating your resilience right now. So again, it's more about in touch with your energy, in touch with who you are, in touch with the power inside of you.
So what does the practice look like? What does it look like when you practice?
Yeah, I'm going to show you some simple demonstration. It's like the practice is so simple. So one hand, you're starting with work with the stress of the body. So first step is feeling your body, connecting with your body. So we all know when you pay attention, the 3 areas carry stress, for example. I'm giving just example, one of sets of practice. One is the shoulder. Yeah, the shoulder carries stress. We carry the whole weight of the world on our shoulder, right? Our shoulder hunching, like that. Then the second area of carry stress is our spine. Over the years, our spine hunching, become older. This way is like demonstrate in the spine, Then the third area is in your hip area, And these 3 areas is the main area of your body carry stress. But also the main areas for the energy flow. If that energy is blocked in this area, then your whole system is compromised. For example, the spine is your energy highway. If the highway congested, blocked, then the traffic cannot move. No matter what else you do, okay? So simple movement. I'm just giving you one example, such as rotating your spine to the left side as much as you can. You hold there, and you relax into the position, and you intentionally feeling your body instead of resisting the discomfort, the stress, the tension in your body. You become more aware, more accepting, and feeling the tension of your shoulder, your arm from the stress, feeling the tension in your spine. Then relax into the position, allow the stretch to open the energy. Then you gently release from this position, for example, halfway to the front. Then you're repeating this movement. The key is repetition. So when you're doing the practice, often we close our eyes so you can feel in your body. You're not externally distracted. You're feeling your internal body, internal landscape, internal feeling inside of your body. Then you gradually again rotating towards the front. Then you can do to the right side. So the key is repeating that. So on one hand, to explain that movement, it's simple. You're rotating the spine. The spine joints is rotating horizontally to both directions. Yeah. So when the joints opening up, the energy start to flowing better. Your nerve system start to connecting better. And so that's just one simple example. But more importantly is you're opening to the subtle energy flow. Yeah. In the beginning, starting with the physical. Then gradually, you're able to experience more subtle energy of the earth, subtle energy of the universe, the subtle energy field around you, about 3 feet away from your skin. You start to feel that. But in the beginning, start the physical, allow you to release the stress, the tension first.
Yeah. So you don't need any equipment. You don't need dumbbells or heavy equipment.
Nothing.
The energy of your own body working.
Right. You can do it anytime, any place. And also with any condition. Yes, if you can do the movement by standing, that's great. If not, you do the movement by sitting. If you cannot do some of the movement sitting, you can just lie down, moving part of the body where you can move. If you cannot move at all, you're imagining, visualizing the movement.
Wow.
Then if you cannot move, or you can also do the sound healing practice. You're making the sound. Then the sound activating the energy. So go beyond the limitation of your physical. And often students combine the movement with sound, become more powerful, more effective.
What kind of sound? Is it like this one?
Yeah, you starting the R is beautiful. And so in this tradition, we use 15 sound, 3 sound for each organ. 3 sound for each organ. So the first sound is for the physical dimension of your organ. Then the second sound is for the emotional dimension of your organ. The third sound is for the mental spiritual dimension of your organ. So that is quite a new idea for most of us. Thinking about the organ is not just the biological organs, and it's not somatically. The heart is that big, but the energy field of the heart is much bigger. It's much bigger than your home. Yeah. Now, scientifically, we can measure the electromagnetic field emanating from your heart can be measurable even a few miles away.
Well, that's been
even much bigger than the electromagnetic field of your brain. So in Qigong knowledge from this ancient time, the people knew there's the subtle invisible energy field is not only existing, but it's important to cultivate your full potential, realizing your full potential as human being, including the heart. So for example, the first sound, awakening the physical dimension of the heart, the physical cells start to shaking like that. Then, some of us see these videos in the YouTube called somatic. Yeah, certain vibration. You put in certain container above the speakers, and then in the container you use different material, either sand, even water, substance. Yeah, when you give in the vibration, the physical substance will change patterns. They start not only moving, vibrating, but change certain patterns. Yeah. That's one powerful illustration of the power of the sound. So similarly, when you do the sound, for example, I'm using the heart as the example. The first sound is shaking the cell of the heart, but restructuring the somatic of the heart and affecting the direct physical function. Then the second sound is awakening more subtle energy beyond the physical, including the emotional energy. Often we know, when we feel happy, why feel happy? Because, your heart is open. The energy of your heart is open. The physical heart is that size. You cannot say the physical, heart open to a certain degree, so you feel the experience. No, it's more the subtle energy of the heart. It's around the heart expanding out, so you're feeling the joy, feeling more happiness. So that's what the second sound does. Then the third sound is awakening the spiritual dimension, the wisdom of your heart. And that's another piece, when we're speaking about, when we're noticing we're mentally stressed, when we're thinking too much, you cannot really find the solution just mentally. You have to come to your heart, discover the deeper wisdom of your heart. That's the spiritual dimension of the heart. Often we say, follow your heart's call.
Can you share with us the first sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
The first sound.
We're inviting all of us to join us, just playfully making the sound. So the first sound is like, if you're safe, you can close your eyes and follow the sound. If you're driving, of course, you don't want to do that. So noticing the chest, feeling your heart. You can put your hands on top of your chest. Noticing, embracing all the sensation feeling inside of you. So whenever stress of life, often the heart is contracted. So we learn to honor the heart, what is true inside of your heart. Whatever contraction, whatever discomfort you're feeling inside of you. Then allowing the sound, the vibration, awakening the energy of your heart, opening the energy of your heart, releasing the discomfort, releasing the contraction. So the first sound like this. Again, invite you to join us together with your own best effort, playfully breathe into your chest. Breathe into your chest. One more time. Breathe into your chest. Continuously relaxing, noticing. You may feel a sense of warmness inside of your heart, a sense of wakefulness, aliveness of your heart. You may sense of a deeper joyfulness, the inner joy of your heart awakening. Comfortably move your body. Whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. So whatever you're feeling is this process. So more you repeating the practice, then the stronger connection you're making with your heart, then deeper awakening, deeper vibration. Vibration is like this. Yeah, sound like shing. So not only your physical heart is vibrating, then the subtle energy is like a ripple of energy vibrating, emanating out. Yeah, as I said, even the electromagnetic field included in your heart, part of your heart in the field, energy field, is awakening, opening bigger. Then the feeling, just naturally, you feel much lighter. So you can imagine if you're repeating that for minutes, hours, then you're getting to a blissful place.
Did you have an experience, Jackie? Did that?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel less stressed. When I get stressed, I feel this tightness actually in my shoulders and my chest. In fact, it kind of feels like my esophagus is closing down when I get real stressed. But that feels like it's eased up a little bit. But as a teacher of public speaking, I recognize too that there's more powerful ways than even just speaking a message that we can use for our voice, right? And so what you're teaching me now is that there are ways to actually open up to our own selves by using our voice.
Absolutely.
Not sharing to the outside world. It's that there's something that we can do powerfully with our own voice to help our own energy and our own body, mind, and heart, right? It's pretty amazing.
You got it right there. I'm excited to imagine if you're using this sound technique help your students. That would be amazing. Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
So how long does a daily practice take? I know that in your book you suggest you do it first thing in the morning and then you do it before going to bed. So
yeah,
how much time should be set aside to get through an entire sound practice and Qigong routine?
So obviously, more time you practice, especially with the consistency of every day, then more power, more benefit you're going to generate basically. So it really depends on where you're at, your dedication, your connection, your willingness to do it. So you can, comfortably start in 15 minutes, but I would suggest starting even 30 minutes, especially right now. Most of it has more time available. So it's a big question we're asking ourselves now, how are we going to use our time? What is the most important thing for you? Whether it's how important health is, how important energy is for you, how important a deeper connection with your own body, your own life force. So that is the decision everybody needs to make. Before we don't know, but once you know enough, then you have to make a decision. Say, okay, I'm going to start in there. I'm going to try that. Then you're increasing your dedication, increasing your commitment levels. So a lot of people, as Todd shared the story, people recover totally. I know students totally recover from Parkinsons, from Lyme disease, from autoimmune condition, from all these years of depression, anxiety, is life suicidal, and all these things. But takes practice. So these students practicing 1 hour, sometimes even they're practicing 2 hours a day, for a period of time. Sometimes you see the tangible result right away in a few months. Sometimes takes 2 years. But the question is, do you want to do that? Is that important?
The return on investment. So an hour a day, and the return on investment could last you the rest of your life and extend your life, really. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Nowadays, again, how much time we spend watching TV, how much time we get lost in the computer, Googling all the places, how much time you're talking to someone complaining about something.
Right.
Right.
And it is amazing. You described, I watched a video today of a woman describing her Parkinson's disease, and she got involved with your center and Parkinson's disease is a very debilitating condition that most people settle with, having it for the rest of their lives. But this woman described she takes no medication. She's had no symptoms for 3 years, and the doctors have released her from having the condition. And she bases that on the fact that she studied with you at the Qi Center and practices Qigong on a daily basis. A phenomenal testimonial.
So, really everything is possible, not only as idea, but we are making the impossible possible. So when you do the practice every day, during the practice you feel better. After the practice, you feel better. Sure. Then if you continue that, then tomorrow you're going to feel better than yesterday. Then, so you're able incrementally, accumulatively, you improving your function. So then this energy accumulates to a certain degree, then suddenly the whole, condition taking a quantum leap. Suddenly all symptom disappears, you don't have to use drug anymore, you become disease free even according conventional diagnosis. But the key is every day you're improving. So one of the most effective benefit is no matter the diagnosis, whether you have a diagnosis or not, during the practice, every day you practice, you start to feel more energy, more aliveness, more joy. And so that is the most important thing in life, right? So the symptom might be being there for a while. The stress might be still there. But you start have more energy to function better, to embrace life more effectively, to creatively, contributing to life more fulfilling way. So that is the foundation, most important.
Oh my goodness.
Very cool.
We are just about out of time. We have about 3 minutes left. I want to thank you so much for coming on our show today and giving us, I think both Jackie and I are going to be Qigong doers now from this day forward, right, Jackie?
Yeah, well, I've been learning it the last several months.
Right.
But I didn't know there was some sound associated with it. So I'm excited to experiment with that a little bit more. Definitely.
Yeah, that is not well known. Normally people associate Qigong with meditative, gentle, dance-like movement, which is important. But the sound healing can take you deeper. Then also including meditation. We have study meditation directly accessing the energy and healing as well. So we have plenty of resources to share with you, including the ebook as well, 3 free meditation session every week.
There's lots on YouTube. You can find out more at qicenter.com. There's a free ebook. Both Jackie and I read it. We loved it. We thought our first comments were, oh, it's so informative and it's so easy to read and it's so short. And I got it. So it's very good. Thank you again, Master Mingtong Gu. I had to think about that for a minute. I'm sorry.
Mingtong Gu.
Mingtong Gu.
You're in the Qigong mood now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think way too much. Jackie has a big heart, and I'm the one that thinks too much. So.
I don't know which part of your brain is active right now at this moment.
I hope you will be open to coming back on the show, because I know both of us just really got a lot of great information. I think there's so much more to talk about and explain and entice people to check it out. I think it's big. It's huge. And thank you again, sir, for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you. Enjoy time together. So I wish everybody more health, more happiness, and greater fulfillment. And master your life, master your energy.
That's what we're all about. We're learning too. We're definitely learning too. That's about all we have time for today. I hope you got a lot out of this show. Please tell your friends about it and sign up for our newsletter. And lastly, go check out qicenter.com and get the free ebook. You'll learn a lot more and you'll get a lot more out of it. Choose to do Qigong today. Lastly, make it a great day because it is all about choice. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.